you're going to say, I'm so glad you asked. Visit readysetgrow.com/gift to get your da-da-da-da-da. Because if you've got a national audience and they're listening, you want them all to come back to your world and be part of your community. Speaking of which, have you heard enough already to know that you want to be part of my community? I'm just curious, because I teach a course called Attract Ideal Clients and Speaking Gigs at Hello, and somebody is going to go home with a VIP front row seat to that fantastic training, which will help you attract ideal clients and speaking gigs at Hello. Would anybody want that?
Yes.
Awesome. So my good friend Audrey is going to go around the room, and you can just put your name in the basket. And if you want to be in my newsletter community so you can stay in touch with me, please include your email address. And if you do not want to stay in touch with me, that's okay too. Just don't put your email in there. But when we're done, I will ask Audrey to draw a name, and somebody is going to win that $997 training. And I will transform you from lackluster to blockbuster in minutes. And you will be so happy that our paths crossed. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I got to do National Public Radio, and I had a great time, and I was a great guest. I showed up right on time. I was gracious. I was funny. I was insightful. And they loved having me as a guest, which is a ninja tip. Be an awesome guest. And then when the show was over, I said, who else do you need to speak with on a national basis who can be even more contribution to the conversation? And they said, you're going to make a referral to make the show better? I said, yes, I absolutely am. And so they said, you're an awesome guest. We're going to have you back. And so I got invited to be on the show again and again, and then additional people heard me speak. And then I got invited to do additional things on television, on radio, on podcasts, on TeleSummit. And all of a sudden, I went from this invisible, reluctant spotlight seeker to someone who's actually made a pretty good name for herself. Would you like to do that too? Yes. So hopefully you got some lessons already about what you need to do to get ready to go for an interview. You've heard the lessons, right? Okay, so let me tell you about my friend, Dr. Susan O'Malley. Dr. Susan O'Malley came to me about a year ago, and she said, I run a successful med spa, and what I do is I turn back the hands of time with needles and not knives. And I feel called to be a public speaker. And I think I'm supposed to write a book, and I don't know how to do any of that. Can you help me? And so I said, I absolutely can. And so when we started out, sometimes people have goals. I want to get known, I want to get paid, I want to write a book, I want to earn my membership card in the National Speakers Association. These were the things that she wanted. And you know, the National Speakers Association says you need to do a certain number of speeches and get paid for them in order to qualify for membership. And so at the time, she was doing these talks at the Rotary and the Chamber of Commerce and the local women's organization. And she'd say, I'll happily speak for your group for a $25 honorarium because I'm trying to earn my membership to the National Speakers Association. And so she was doing all these talks. And I said to her, you know, we really need to aim a little higher. We need to think a little bit bigger. $25 per gig is not at the level where you should play. And so we wrote a book together. She wrote it, I helped her. Tough Cookies Don't Crumble, How to Turn Setbacks into Success. And then she decided she was going to take a bigger stage. And so this is a woman who knows a lot about tenacity. At 35 years old, she decided she wanted to become a doctor. She applied to every single medical school in the country and got rejections from every single one of them. And then she decided she wanted it enough that she would apply the next year. Only the next year, she was a year older, pregnant without a husband, and she finally got accepted. And so she went. And when she graduated, there she was, a medical doctor. But she says to me, Nancy, I want to be on the bold stage at the Inbound conference in Boston. And I want to speak to 18,000 people. How am I going to get there? And I said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to find out who makes the decisions about those speakers. You're going to go to the Inbound Stage website, and you're going to study who it is that makes those decisions. And you're going to find out when you need to apply, and you're going to figure out how you make your pitch. And then you're going to work with me, and we're going to get your pitch nailed. And then because you want it more than anything, you're not just going to send the pitch in and hope for the best. You're going to send the pitch in, and you're going to say something like, she wanted a 10-minute bold talk. So she says, it would be my deepest honor to contribute to the Bold Stage as a speaker on the topic of perseverance. This is why I'm the best speaker for that job, and this is my personal story. I can't wait to follow up with you to see how I can be of service to your audience. I'll follow up with you in a couple days unless I hear from you first. Thank you very much. Write that down. I'll follow up with you in a few days unless I hear from you first. And then you know what you do? You follow up in a few days unless you hear from them first. She didn't hear from them, so she called them again. She says, this is Dr. Susan O'Malley, and I want to be on the Bold Stage at the Inbound Conference, and I want to talk about perseverance. And you know what? If perseverance isn't the perfect topic, I can also talk about leadership from the emergency room. Would that be a value add for your conference and make it an even better experience for all the thousands of people that are coming? I'll follow up with you in a few days unless I hear from you first. Thank you very much. I think she made 7 different approaches to the people at the Inbound Conference. So then she was starting to get a little breathless and starting to feel a little bit discouraged, but I said, you gotta keep the faith. You gotta keep the faith. And you gotta want it enough to see it through. You gotta want it enough to see it through, right? So she gets this phone call. Hi, I'd like to speak with Dr. Susan O'Malley. This is, hi, Dr. Susan. We are the decision makers for the Inbound Conference in Boston. We have filled all our spots except for one, and we've decided that that one has your name on it. Will you please come and speak on the Bold Stage? You could imagine the emotion that was going through her veins at that time. She might have needed to go to the emergency room. But she says, yes, it would be my privilege. So she goes to this thing. There's this arena full of people. She rocks her talk in 10 minutes, and she gets a standing ovation. It was like one of those moments that you just carry with you for your whole life. And I was so proud. It was almost as if I had gone there with her. And so it was really exciting to be able to tell you that of all the speakers that were on the Bold Stage last year, and she shared the stage with Chelsea Clinton, Seth Godin, and Brene Brown. Wow. She came a long, long way from being a $25 keynote speaker at the Rotary in a year. She wrote a book, she got on a big stage, her confidence bloomed. But imagine how she was feeling when this year the Inbound Stage was going to invite her back. And of all the speakers that were on the stage last year, she was the only one to be invited back. And she just gave her talk last week, and she had an even bigger room and an even bigger arena of people, and she's going downtown fast. So why am I telling you that story? Because people need to want it enough to stay with it and to persevere and ask for that thing that you want. Because if you don't want it bad enough, nobody's going to give it to you. I've been a reluctant speaker my entire life. I didn't even know that I was a speaker. And a couple of weeks ago, you know, we're always auditioning everywhere we go. Even if we're not formally being interviewed, people are interviewing us every day. How did she do her elevator talk? How did she show up? She looked me right in the eye. Was she nice? When she got her feet on the property, was she pleasant? Was she nice to the service people? These are the things that people notice about the way you show up. It's all around us. So I go to this 3-day live event with one of my mentors. It's a 3-day thing. Has anyone been to one of these 3-day events? Mm-hmm. So there's people on stage and they're doing what I'm doing right now, and people are taking notes, and people are making pitches, and all of this is going on. And it's like, okay, great, I'm here to learn. So on the 3rd day, he says, surprise, there are 4 spotlight talks that are going to be given today, and I've decided that you're going to give one, and you're going to give one, and you're going to give one. Oh, and Nancy, you're going to give one. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I'm not prepared. I wasn't, you know, but I'm thinking, okay, this reluctant speaker is going to take the stage. I have no PowerPoint. I have no notes. I have no podium to hold on to, and it's my turn. So have you heard of Molly Mahoney?
Yes.
Molly Mahoney is the Facebook Live wizard. She's teaching people around the world how to do Facebook Live so the world can beat a path to their door. And she's very quirky, and she's really, really terrific, and I think very highly of her. So she says, Nancy, I'm going to get your 15-minute talk on Facebook Live. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea what I'm going to say. And she's going to share it with the whole world. So I go, well, okay, I better just roll with it. So I got up there and I talked about how to get ready for opportunity before opportunity knocks, and I talked about how to make your speaker sheet sizzle. So a couple of quick things. Don't call yourself author, speaker, coach. Nobody will buy it. Call yourself the world's leading relationship with money keynote speaker, so we know what you talk about. Don't say, book me now. Give them a reason to book this eye-opening killer speaker who's going to bring up the vibe and bring down the house with a standing ovation every day of the week. There's certain things that you do with your speaker sheet to make yourself stand out. And you know what? If you have a simple Word document that is your speaker sheet, and someone else has one that's beautifully produced that looks like $1 million, who do you think they're going to choose? They're going to choose the one that takes their image seriously enough to look like a rock star at Hello. So those are just a few tips. So anyway, getting back to my story, I did the 15 minutes and they loved me. They applauded. It was fabulous. I felt very good because I was on the fly, ready to go. Well, as of today, 353 people have watched that video, and quite a few of them have reached out to say, can I please do business with you? I want to enroll in your Attract Ideal Clients and Speaking Gigs at Hello Success training when you start. And I said, awesome sauce. But then it gets even better because he was evaluating me as an audition to be on his bigger stage. And so a week ago, he said, I do a marketing mentor show, and it goes out to thousands and thousands of people. I would like you to be my guest. And as of today, almost 1,300 people around the world have seen that interview, and I've been getting opt-ins for my sizzling speaker sheet gift template all over the world, and all of a sudden everything's, whistling Dixie. Everything's coming up roses. So we're always auditioning, so please be ready for opportunity when it knocks. So my final story is, you know how I started the event telling you that the people at the Women Business Owners didn't think too highly of me? I didn't really get a very good evaluation. Well, it wasn't so long ago that I did a webinar for 1,200 people around the country about how to make your sizzling speaker sheet sizzle with upside and opportunity. And I made an invitation at the end of that call for people to join me in my Attract Ideal Clients and Speaking Gigs Hello Success training. And I got this very enthusiastic email that was had an order form attached to it. And the woman said, I am the incoming president of the Women Business Owners, and I can't wait to be in your course. So I just share that story with you because we all have humble beginnings. We may start holding onto the podium for dear life and hoping that things are going to work out. And then you get invited to just be yourself, to be of contribution, to be of service. And it all just, the rose is blooming and you didn't even know it had happened. So if my example is one that inspires you, I hope that you are inspired to get ready for opportunity before it knocks. If you need more support in getting that done, I would be delighted to tell you how I can help you with that. But for now, I want to draw a name of somebody who actually gets to join me in the Attract Ideal Clients and Speaking Gigs at Hello. This is your last opportunity to see if you are the lucky one. And so what is it? It's, we meet once a month by webinar, and it's a magic message lab where I help you get to the meat of your message. What we're going to do is we're going to help you name and claim your profitable niche audience. We're going to help you say bye-bye to your boring bio so you can attract more of the right people at Hello. And we're going to create that sizzling speaker sheet so you get booked again and again, amen. And there's beautiful curriculum to support that so that you never feel like you're on your own at all. And there's a Facebook group also where I'm in there 4 days a week helping you to massage your message so you can feel confident in your own skin and your own message so you can get out there and get booked. So if that's of interest to you, drum roll please, somebody's going to win it. And I'm going to have you draw the name.
Okay, I'm going to look my head so
Audrey's drawing the
nobody
name.
can say that I'm looking at the cards.
And the winner is Lisa Jean.
Yay!
This is what I'm going to put a big star right here. I am going to make sure that you get VIP admission to the course. And I'm also gifting you your very phone copy of Bye Bye Boring Bio and Speak More Marketing Strategies to get more speaking business so you can start your journey right away. Thank you. My final parting salvo, if you probably got the idea, I'm pretty quirky. Embrace your quirks, raise your voice, inspire and lead because we don't have time to mess around. We've got to get things going. Are you with me?
Yes.
Thank you.